So, you're thinking about taking your business global. It's one of the most exciting and, let's be honest, most challenging moves a company can possibly make. It's a shot at new markets, new customers, and a whole new level of growth. But wow, it is a path that's just filled with hidden traps. Which brings us to the big question, right? Are you really ready? Because it's not just about having a fantastic product. It's about being ready to understand a completely new way of doing business. Because, and there's no sugarcoating this, it's a massive gamble. In fact, some studies suggest something like 70% of international ventures don't hit their targets. And it's not usually because the product was bad, it's because of totally avoidable mistakes, blunders in culture and in law. And that's what we're going to unpack right now, what they are, and more importantly, how you can steer clear of them. Okay, let's get into it. It all really starts with this idea. We'll call it the high cost of ignorance. You know, it's that dangerous assumption that what works for you at home is just going to work everywhere else. Now, here's what's so fascinating about this. These consequences, they're not separate problems. They're a chain reaction. A single cultural misstep, well, that can easily lead to massive miscommunication. That miscommunication then causes a huge negotiation to just fall apart. And before you even know what happened, you're dealing with damage to your brand, lost investments, and worst case scenario, you're in some serious legal hot water. It's like a domino effect that can literally sink your entire venture. So, how in the world do you navigate this minefield? Well, the first pillar of success is something we'll call the cultural compass. Think of it like learning to read the invisible map of a new business culture. The magic word here is cross-cultural competence. And listen, this is so much more than just knowing a few local phrases or when the public holidays are. It's a deep, genuine awareness of all the unique norms, the traditions, the communication styles that really shape how business gets done over there. It's all about knowing the unwritten rules of the game. And this table, it shows just how different those rules can be. I mean, just look at this. In one culture, you might have a really flat hierarchy, where basically anyone can speak up and challenge an idea. But in another, you'd find a very formal, layered structure. In one place, they value quick decisions made by one person. Somewhere else, they demand a slow group consensus. Even something as basic as time can be totally different. Is being on time an absolute must, or is it more flexible, more about the relationship? Trying to operate without knowing this is, well, it's like trying to play chess using the rules for checkers. You're just going to lose. All right, so once you have your cultural compass dialed in, we need to talk about the second pillar, which is every bit as critical. We'll call it the legal playbook. If culture gives you the unwritten rules, the law gives you the ones that are written in stone. And believe me, they are not suggestions. And this is just absolute. Every single country has its own unique, often complex, and totally mandatory legal rulebook for businesses. There is no asking for forgiveness later. You have to be compliant from day one. That's the only way to play. You have to either become an expert, or more realistically hire one, in all of these areas, from contract law and local tax rules to labor rights. For example, in some European countries, employee rights are so strong that firing someone is incredibly difficult. If you overlook that, you've just walked into a legal minefield. And it's the same thing for protecting your intellectual property or navigating trade regulations. Every single one of these is absolutely critical. Okay, so we have these two big ideas, the cultural compass and the legal playbook. How do they actually work together in the real world? Let's look at a really clear example. So let's imagine an American company is expanding into Saudi Arabia. Now, on the cultural side, to be successful, they have to understand that building relationships comes before talking business. It means showing a deep and genuine respect for Islamic customs and traditions. That's the cultural compass at work. But at the exact same time, on the legal side, that company has to strictly follow local labor laws, including rules about the workplace, and they have to comply with every single foreign investment restriction. That's the legal playbook. See, you absolutely cannot succeed with one and not the other. They are two sides of the same coin. So, when we pull this all together, what does the blueprint for real, lasting, global success actually look like? It really boils down to this simple but incredibly powerful idea. Sustainable success on the global stage isn't built on just one pillar. It needs two. It is the direct result of combining deep cultural respect with rock-solid legal compliance. If either one of those is weak, the whole thing is coming down. And this quote it says it all, doesn't it? Your product might get your foot in the door, but it's how you show up, how you operate, how you respect the culture and follow the law. That's what's going to determine if you actually get to stay. And that leaves us with one last thing to chew on. In a world that's getting more and more connected every day, You might think these local differences will start to fade away, but maybe, just maybe, the opposite is true. As we all get closer, maybe taking the time to truly understand and respect these differences is what's going to matter more than ever. What do you think?